Hello and welcome back. Today starts the kickoff of a new video series about harmful chemicals found in our foods. At first, I was just going to do an overview of these chemicals, but there are so many, and I think it is important to highlight which foods contain these harmful chemicals and how we can identify them in order to make an informed decision. What the food industry doesn't want you to know, and what they spend millions to lobby Congress over, are the facts about food additives. The food industry, in order to earn more profit, needs to use food additives to increase the texture, look, freshness, and to addict us so we buy more of their products. Unfortunately, many food additives that have been approved by the FDA have been studied over the years, and the studies show adverse effects to human health. The more we know and understand will help us make better food choices. In this video, I will discuss the additive, food dye. Please watch until the end to see a comprehensive list of foods that contain harmful dyes and how to identify them on food labels. In ancient times, the use of natural dyes dates back to ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, who used natural substances like saffron, turmeric, and beetroot to color their food. Other cultures, including the Romans and Chinese, also utilized natural dyes for culinary and medicinal purposes. Things changed in the 19th century. During the Industrial Revolution, synthetic dyes were developed. The first artificial dye, mauveine, was discovered by William Henry Perkin in 1856. This paved the way for the development of synthetic food dyes. As synthetic dyes became more common, concerns about their safety emerged. Some early synthetic dyes were found to be toxic. This led to the introduction of regulations to control their use. The Pure Food and Drug Act of 1906 in the United States marked the beginning of federal food regulation, including the oversight of food dyes. By the early 20th century, several synthetic dyes were being used in food. The 1938 Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act in the United States established more stringent controls and introduced the certification of color additives. Common synthetic dyes developed during this time include FD&C, red number 40, yellow number 5, and blue number 1. These dyes were widely used in various food products, including candies, beverages, and processed foods. From the late 20th century to present, health concerns have been driving change. Over the years, studies have raised concerns about the potential health effects of synthetic dyes, including links to hyperactivity in children and allergies. This has led to increased scrutiny and calls for more natural alternatives. In response to consumer demand and regulatory pressures, the food industry has seen a resurgence in the use of natural dyes derived from plants, minerals, and other natural sources. Examples include beet juice, carrot juice, and spirulina. Today, there is a growing trend toward clean labeling and the use of natural ingredients. Many food manufacturers are reformulating products to replace synthetic dyes with natural alternatives, catering to health-conscious consumers. The use of food dyes has evolved significantly from ancient times to the present day. While synthetic dyes played a major role in the food industry throughout the 20th century, there is now a shift back towards natural dyes, driven by health concerns and consumer preferences. The consumption of food dyes has been associated with several negative health effects. Scientific studies have explored various potential risks, including allergies, hyperactivity in children, and possible carcinogenicity. Here are some key findings from scientific research. Tartrazine, yellow number 5, has been associated with allergic reactions, particularly in individuals with asthma and aspirin intolerance. A study published in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology found that tartrazine can trigger asthma symptoms and other allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. A landmark study conducted by the University of Southampton in 2007 examined the effects of artificial food colors on children's behavior. The study, published in The Lancet, found that certain mixtures of synthetic food colors and the preservative sodium benzoate were associated with increased hyperactivity in children. This study led to the European Parliament requiring warning labels on foods containing these dyes. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration banned the use of Red 3 in cosmetics and externally applied drugs in 1990 due to evidence they caused cancer in animal studies. Research published in the Journal of the National Cancer Institute demonstrated that erythrocene caused thyroid tumors in rats. Red 40, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6. These dyes have been shown to contain benzidine, a known human and animal carcinogen, at low levels. The Center for Science in the Public Interest published a report highlighting these concerns and calling for a ban on these dyes in food. A study published in the journal Food and Chemical Toxicology evaluated the genotoxic potential of brilliant blue FCF, known as blue number 1, and Allura red, or red number 40. The study found evidence of DNA damage in certain test conditions, suggesting a possible genotoxic effect. Behavioral and cognitive effects have also been found. Additional studies have investigated the broader impact of artificial food dyes on behavior and cognition. A review article in Neurotherapeutics discussed the potential neurotoxic effects of artificial food dyes and their role in neurobehavioral disorders. While food dyes enhance the visual appeal of foods, scientific studies have uncovered several potential health risks associated with their consumption. These include allergic reactions, hyperactivity in children, possible carcinogenic effects, and genotoxicity. These findings have prompted regulatory agencies and public health organizations to review the safety and use of food dyes in the food industry. Several countries have even gone as far to impose bans or strict regulations on the use of certain artificial food dyes due to health concerns. The EU requires warning labels on foods containing specific artificial dyes, such as tartrazine, yellow number 5, sunset yellow, yellow number 6, and Allura red, red number 40. These labels must state that the dyes may have an adverse effect on activity and attention in children. Certain dyes are banned outright in some EU countries. For example, Norway and Austria have banned several artificial dyes. The UK Food Standards Agency called for a voluntary removal of 6 artificial dyes: sunset yellow, quinoline yellow, carmozine, Allura red, tartrazine, and Ponceau 4R from foods and beverages due to concerns about hyperactivity in children. As a result, many manufacturers have reformulated their products to exclude these dyes. The Food Standards Australia-New Zealand requires warning labels similar to those in the EU for foods containing certain synthetic dyes. However, the use of food dyes in the United States is much more relaxed. Artificial food dyes are still widely used, although there are some regulations. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration has approved several artificial food dyes for use in food, including Red 40, Yellow 5, and Yellow 6. These dyes are subject to specific regulations regarding their use and labeling. Unlike the EU, the U.S. does not require warning labels for foods containing artificial dyes, although the FDA monitors and evaluates the safety of these additives regularly. However, the United States can and should do more to protect its citizens, as we have seen other countries around the world have done. It seems odd that companies producing foods with harmful dyes would remove them for sale in other countries, but not in the U.S., especially since most of the brands are from U.S. companies. It would make more sense that U.S.-based companies would remove harmful food coloring for sale everywhere. Something to think about. So how do we as consumers identify these dyes on food labels? Food dyes can be identified on food labels by their specific names or their FD&C numbers. Here are some common ones. These dyes will appear on ingredient lists, often with their color names, yellow 5, or FD&C numbers, yellow number 5. While artificial food dyes are banned or restricted in some countries due to health concerns, they are still permitted and widely used in the United States. Consumers can identify these dyes on food labels by looking for their specific names, or FD&C numbers. The ongoing debate and scientific research on the safety of these dyes continue to influence regulations and consumer choices worldwide. Now, as promised, here are some common examples of food coloring additives. As you can see, many popular foods, especially processed and packaged items, contain artificial dyes. Several of these dyes are found together in common brands and food types. You can see snacks and sweets, beverages, baked goods, and processed foods are repeat offenders, containing several harmful dyes. These artificial dyes are commonly found in many popular food products. These products are all highly processed. Many of the brands listed are specifically targeted at children due to their bright and appealing colors. Please take special care to identify them on food labels. Reading ingredient labels carefully can help us identify and avoid these dyes if desired. If you found this video informative and would like to see more content, please leave a question in the comment section, like this video, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you.